Hello and welcome. This is Ayana Lahi, and I'm so very, very happy that you are here with all of us in this week's episode of Be One, Be You. We are diving into the theme, facing the false self. Let's start off by defining the false self and the true self. Our environment that creates that response mode of not feeling safe, overstimulated, a life being too fast, high expectations, judgments on ourselves or from others. Those are just some of the life traits that create the false self. The false self is created when it feels humiliated, when you feel humiliated. And the real you, and all of your feeling self was judged, put down, humiliated, not seen, not heard, not valued, not seen, felt, responded to as being worthy. The false self can be learnt from our parents, from elders. As a young child, we may not know how to respond in any given situation. And have you ever had that feeling of making something up? And we don't know quite who inside of ourself is doing that. And if we do not awaken into, well, is that really me? Or is that not really me? Questioning while we're teens and young adults, we grow into the false self, which we believe is all there is. During this time in the evolution of planet Earth, we are naturally being pushed to recognize the false self. Throughout history, there has been the expression of possessions, power, greed, control over others, abusing to get what one wants while being unconscious of the effect that one is actually creating. That's been our evolution. And right now, the evolution is pushing the fake false self up into the limelight for all of us to make the choice. Hey, how do I want to be? What part of in me am I going to build? Am I building I've got my image together. I've got my degrees together. I've got my act together, my words together. But what happens when that script no longer works? Have any of you been there? Do you know what that's like? To have the way that you used to be no longer work. And that's part of what makes up this evolutionary time that we are in. That it is time to learn the new skills, the new connection, the new configuration that begins by bringing our mind and our heart together. And then our mind, our heart, and our body together. The mind begins to connect with the heart when you have hit a wall and you recognize that there may not be any constructive, effective way to make it through from where you are to the next place unless you continue doing the same repetitive actions, the same beliefs, the same structures, the same responses. When you take the time in your life, whether it's once a day, once a week, whatever is real and natural for you, to discover your false self. It's like if you really disliked a food, but when you were asked if you wanted some of it, you said yes. Why would you say yes when you don't really like it? Or perhaps you even have an allergy to it. Many of us are raised to be trained to have responses that make other people feel okay and not make them uncomfortable. That's really wonderful etiquette. And at times it's really necessary and truly helpful and appropriate. And there's other times when you know that you're running out of time of not being true to yourself, saying things, eating things, doing things, hanging out with people that are not resonating with you because you have begun to emerge out of the false self and you begin to take a look at it. You are able to see and witness how you're being, and you might feel uncomfortable. It's an invitation for great change to choose to be authentic with you, even if you might doubt yourself or feel afraid, very vulnerable, unsure of yourself, shy. Those are all necessary. It's not anything to get caught into the self-judgment, the fear, the humiliation of that. That's called the journey of being a human being, coming into life, coming into the relationship that you have with life, the life force, the life energy that moves through you all the time. A lot of times when we're a kid, teenager, young adult, and even some of us into adulthood, we will shut that door to life force energy and take on the role, take on the words that you think will get you the approval, the recognition, and more likes in many areas of your life. This is where your choice of your priorities, of what is it that you really want to come out and share with yourself first, to bring into the inner bedroom of your psyche, to bring into that intimacy, that into me I see, so that you can begin to recognize how the false self, what I also call your ego self, the you that you created to get you through difficult situations, the you that you created to fulfill what you did not believe you knew how to do, whether it was a positive action for your life or a negative. We're here to awaken. So your awakening to how your false self works is an incredible dance that you can create in yourself as you strengthen your connection through love in yourself with your most real self until you finally reach God within you and you feel the unique connection that is possible through being one in you. The theme of false self, ego self, transforming into true self, the power of who you truly are, coming from full integration and connection, is one of the main themes in the Spirit Gateways Institute programs, courses, and mentoring. And in the Spirit Gateways library that you receive through the True Self Mentoring one-on-one with me, and through Tribe Transformation, the group mentoring experience, the Master Heart Mastermind, you receive a lot of courses that are part of the library that you have access to. And in all of the teachings and practices that you will experience in the Spirit Gateways roadmap, you're going to be able to transform the old structures within you, that false self, ego operating system, into feeling fully alive, focused, and clear, and being able to really access your whole energetic and fully embodied spiritual material self. That's the gift of Spirit Gateways. When you start seeing your false self, you begin to see fear in action. And for all of us, fear is a teacher. Fear is the response to what we don't know or don't understand, and also what could be violating, abusive, and blocks our access to our true self. When we are in a close relationship to someone who is misusing their self, and they're in a false self, but they have no idea, what do? How do you face? How do you face the false self in someone else when they are determined to make you wrong? Have any of you experienced that? The more light that you are born with, the more often you will have others in their false self accuse you of being a certain way. And if a person feels threatened by the light that you are, that embodied presence of your whole self in action right now, in the moment, their false self will be triggered. What do? Well, you go into your connection, into your solar plexus, meaning you bring your mind down from being up in your head down into the solar plexus. You start there because that's the PowerPoint center in your body that connects your nervous system, your psyche, with your higher mind. It's where spirit, the knowledge, the wisdom that lives in spiritual consciousness, pure spiritual consciousness, meaning the spirit that comes directly from the source. Once you come into your solar plexus, you're able to access your greater wisdom, your greater truth, and it also calms your nervous system down. From being in your solar plexus, you want to drop down into the dantian. To find your dantian, or your lower belly, your second PowerPoint center, you place your thumb in your navel, your pinky on your pubic bone, and then you drop your index finger down on your lower belly. And that's the location of your second PowerPoint center. This is where anger is created. And so when you connect the solar plexus and the dantian, the second power point center, you're giving yourself the chance to wire yourself into spiritual source instead of the anger that arises from feeling threatened and alone, alienated. When we are disconnected from the centers in the lower base of our body with the mid centers, the solar plexus, and the other points in the chest that I get into in other classes and signature courses, and into your heart center, you can feel an anchor point so that you can navigate living in yourself in the midst of someone who's in their false self. Now, if this person starts to put you down, judge you, say things that are unnecessary, you want to stay grokked in, connected in to your solar plexus and lower belly. And then take care of your heart center in your upper chest and go with the movement, the action that will best protect and support you. Either you find a polite way to end a conversation, leave the room, make a statement, such as, I'd love to share and talk more about this with you at another time. However you want to honor yourself, honoring yourself is what is key here. In conclusion, I want to support you to get to know how your own false self works so that you're not giving away your power, that you're not putting other people or situations on pedestals because you are not sure about what's real in your true self and what's false in your ego self. When you start feeling the need to be connected to the world more in the way of feeling, what is my role here? What gift am I here to bring? That's the beginning of going from the false self to the true self. And when you make the shift of understanding that financial abundance and money and your life purpose are all interconnected, and when they connect from the expansive view of you growing yourself, transforming yourself while you are here to make the world a better place, you are taking the elevated action to move into living from your true self. Thanks for being here. If you haven't subscribed yet, at my website, ayanalahi.com, IANALAHI.com, I invite you to come and join the Evolutionary Empowerment Global Village and receive the free course gift from my heart to yours called Living from Your Wild Heart. Thanks for being here with all of us, and I look forward to spending more time, and know that there are new special events and programs that are being released, and I would love to invite you to experience them to support your growth, your transformation into living in the center of you, living from the source of the union of your love and power. Much love to you. Until next time, this is Ayana Lahi.